Yeah, I'll take this on tour. It's exactly what I need. Yeah, no, I'll give this one to Marie. Hey, you guys, I got to tell you something. 45 minutes ago, I walk in the showroom, and I got to tell you, I was so excited to see the product because last February, we started designing all this stuff, and Debbie and I had ideas, and we started throwing these ideas back and forth, but you never really know what it's going to look like until you see it all together. And Toby and I were talking earlier, what's difficult is that all these different pieces from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from China, and finally you bring them all together and there's continuity, and it's just so exciting. I relate this to, like in my business, when you do an album. You know, you start writing the lyrics and then the melody, and then you bring in, you come into the studio, you start cutting the track, and then you bring the vocals, but you never really know.
Such a show off.
But you never really know until you sit back and listen to the final mix. I had the same feeling when I walked in that showroom and I saw this. I thought, this is it. This is exactly what Debbie and I wanted. And what's interesting though, when you make an album, you can't just release it. You have to have a team of people out there promoting it. You can have a great product, and it doesn't matter unless the people see it, feel it, touch it, experience it. And that's why I depend on you guys as my team. You got to get out there and you got to work it hard. Yes, the price point is a little bit higher than what we're all used to with Coaster, but that could be an advantage too because the quality is that much better. Again, relating back to an album, do we really need that brass part? Do we really need to bring in these live strings? It's going to cost more money. What makes it better? And that's what we've tried to do with Donny Osmond Home. I apologize, I'm not talking very loudly. Do you know what I'm going through right now? Did you hear about it?
No.
You didn't hear about it? Well, I'm having surgery a week from Tuesday on my vocal cords. Very scary stuff. And the guy who's performing the operation, Steven Zeitels, I've known this guy for 20 years. He got Adele back on stage. He just helped Sam Smith, John Mayer. Bono was in the office just a couple days before I went there a couple weeks ago. So the guy really is the best in the business. And he said, Donny, I'm going to tell you something. As soon as I operate, I want you to be silent for 3 weeks. No singing, no talking, no whispering. And when he said whispering, I started laughing. I said, what? He said, why are you laughing? I said, Stephen, whisper is has a different meaning in my home than any other home. He says, what do you mean by that? I said, well, long time ago, my wife and I, when we had 2 children, our oldest was 3 or 4 years old. And I had put them to bed this one night. It was a Sunday night. And we had company over at the house, and we were sitting in our Donny Osmond home furniture. And all of a sudden, you know, like I thought our kids were asleep, my oldest comes running down the stairs and said, Dad, I gotta pee. And it was a little embarrassing, you know, and so I excused myself from the living room and I took care of the situation. And I said, son, next time you have to go to the bathroom, don't use that word in front of people. It's not appropriate. It's not polite. I said, next time you got to go, why don't you just say, Daddy, I have to whisper. Best thing I could think of at the time, right? And he thought that was cool. It was our little code word, was whisper. That's why it means something different in our home. So 2 weeks after that incident, my wife and I went on a little vacation. And Grandma and Grandpa were going to watch the kids. And I made the biggest mistake of my life. I forgot to tell them the code word. 4 o'clock in the morning. My son comes running in to the bedroom and starts shaking Grandpa. Grandpa, I have to whisper. And he rolls over and says, Buddy, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. He said, Grandpa, this is a big whisper. I really have to whisper. He said, okay, whisper in my ear.